Structured water has been around since the beginning of time. It is a pattern that's in all nature. A vortex or a vortex energy to the left is creation energy, feminine energy. Energy to the right is masculine energy. In nature, the balance is required. The left spin and the right spin, those two vortexes are the origin of all things. And so they are definitely part of nature. And again, they are the origin. So everything stems from that movement, dance. And when we talk about dance, that's exactly what happens in water with structuring. Water is in a dance. It's spinning. That's how structuring occurs, through the spin, through the turn. And what these units provide is a balance in the water. Man always tends to go for one thing, taking one thing out of the picture and making it the right answer. In nature, it's about balance. For everything to exist, and to exist cleanly and toxic-free, it must be in balance. As you come into balance with this water, no predator can come in. Just the mere fact of structuring releases an exceptional amount of free oxygen. And the majority of predators in our life live in environments where there's no oxygen. They thrive in high pH environments. So what happens is when you structure water, you get an enormous amount of free oxygen. Free oxygen kills every anaerobic bacteria, virus, or mold. It aids aerobic bacteria, which is the acids and the bacteria in your stomach and your intestines, in septic tanks. Anaerobic bacteria is killed, aerobic bacteria is enhanced. So again, structuring creates a water that is toxic-free, energetically toxic-free. Water in nature, everything that water passes by and everything that it passes through, it remembers. If you look at most cities reprocess the gray water. That water is reprocessed 23 times before it actually evaporates and it goes back into nature. You could be looking at a significant amount of memory, which entails virtually all the medications, pharmaceuticals, all the trauma, all the conditions that water has had an opportunity to pass by or pass through since it came out of nature. So what that memory does, it really convolutes water. It brings water into a place of having basically thousands, if not tens of thousands or more water molecules in a cluster, and they're all glommed together. So potentially, when a person were to drink that water, it wouldn't have time to break down anything. It would just go straight through you. What structuring does is within the first turn or so through the structuring unit, it erases that memory or neutralizes the memory. It neutralizes the memory of all toxins. The original technology is about structuring. But in time, we experience, let's say, feedback from the public out there about still smelling chlorine in their water even after it's structured. And an awareness from my involvement in technologies and the energies that are coming at humanity that most people have no understanding of, and that's called electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy is created by electricity, and all these devices, all these electrical devices, cell phone towers, microwave towers, just power lines in general. When you get in a significant pocket of EMF energy, what it does to you and to the water around you is it makes it hard. It raises the hardness level in the water. In other words, in the terminology that I've put forth already, viscosity, that viscosity goes up. It makes a very difficult water for your body to create hydration. And so I looked for elements that could neutralize, or let's say offset, that electromagnetic signature that everybody is being pounded with. So when you structure it, of course, that all comes about. You get instant hydration. The original unit is still significant. It works all over the world. In environments that are not inundated by cell phone towers and microwave towers and a lot of electrical power lines and or underground electrical sources, the dynamically enhanced has a charge on it just by itself. So the dynamically enhanced has a flow form that is other ingredients inside the flow form which create an ion effect. It's an ion exchange unit. So when you add structuring to that, you have this energetic signature already there, and you're adding the energetics of the dynamic movement of structuring. So you get an exponential outcome. Well, it benefits all things, plants, animals, life, man. It benefits us by bringing our physical being into balance. As water is structured, it changes not only the molecular structure of the water and everything that's in the water, but changes the viscosity or the tension on the water. And primarily, this is what makes the water more readily available. So as you consume it and or bathe in it, it goes instantly through the cellular walls and is instant hydration. So that's how we benefit. You will instantly feel the hydration. The majority of people claim the water to be wetter, which it is, because the water is more dense after it's structured. There's more water in a cubic centimeter or cubic inch of structured water than there is in unstructured water. People notice within a short period of time, within a shower, is that their hair is softer, their skin is softer, that any itch or any irritation on their skin goes away. And by the way, if you shower with structured water having a sunburn, the sunburn goes away, because the structured water is, again, instantly enters into the cellular level. So it hydrates any burnt skin. This would be the same thing in a medical institution where people have physical burns. So it would hydrate the skin, regardless of how deformed the skin is. Water running in a straight line, man-made. When water runs in a straight line for 300 feet, it makes the water dead. Absolutely no energy. On our GDV, it's a blank page. There's no light, no living light in that water. If you put a structuring unit on that line, the water will remain structured for 300 feet. At the end of 300 feet, the water is dead again. However, when you shut the water off, the water stops flowing. The water was structured for 300 feet. Instantaneously, all the water forward from the structuring unit and all the water back behind that structured unit are instantaneously structured. And that's entrainment effect. Structured water anywhere in the pipe Stop the water from moving, instantaneously all the water is structured. How that really equates to, say, a drip system. A drip system in a field is water runs, stops, runs, stops. And you can see effects of one unit, one structuring unit in a field, potentially having an effect 1,000 feet out in all directions, just from that start, stop, start, stop. It was a strawberry field in Port Hueneme, California. The farm agreed to put a commercial unit on the header line of the area of the field that was the worst producing and the lowest food value. Strawberries are sold primarily by food value, which is called Brix reading. The food value was a 4, and they watered it first time, and they checked the strawberries 48 hours later, and it was an 8. And as they continued on through this, the strawberries continued to produce, and the Brix, or the food value, continued to increase. And the food value got up to 16 to 18. And they discovered that the strawberries, not only were watered, but 1,000 feet in all directions, all the strawberries were producing the same. It increased the food value of all the strawberries 1,000 feet out in all directions from the watered strawberries. To continue this story, they shut strawberries are seasonal, so they shut the water off. They shut the fertilizers off. And those plants continued to produce. And 1,000 feet in all directions, the strawberries were still, as these bloomed and produced, 1,000 feet out, they were blooming and producing without water. They had never received the original water. They were receiving the energy of the original area. This is some of the magic of structured water. Everybody is in their own world, and I would really love to shake them out of that world and get them more into the space of being curious, more curious about water and the infinite possibilities that it can bring about, not only in their lives, their friends, their family, their neighbors, and the world.